In this following episode of Summa Talkies, I'm in conversation with Munz, aka Cheta, who happens to be the vocalist of this metal band called the Down Troddence and is also the creative director for marketing and all things related to design with Dunzo. Stay tuned.
Yes.
But okay, we have to do one for like one this thing I do with every video. Okay, that is 3, 2, 1. Can we like try it together?
Yeah.
Then it'll be epic because no, for me also it'll be on this thing. I did the 3, 2, 1 patake with TTT's vocalist.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll do that together.
3,
Okay, 3,
2,
2,
1.
1.
Yeah.
Okay. What a segue. Man, I'm so happy today. Like, you won't believe. So 15 minutes before the call, I was actually kind of nervous.
Why?
Okay. See, one thing is we speak.
Yeah.
We speak like, what is going on here? And all we talk. And then we are recording this as we speak. Okay?
Yeah.
So I got a little conscious because, man, I've seen you on stage so much and I've just been like, what is this madness of energy this human being has? What do you eat, man? What is it? What is the secret?
So, like when you're on stage, like I have said this multiple times, like when you're on stage,
I know.
It feels completely different. I know it's a very cliche thing to say. Everyone says it.
I know.
But that's the truth. I mean, I can't make up shit every time, right? Like it's real. I mean, when you're on stage, it's a different energy. And also because maybe the medium of the music we use, it's metal. And when you're on stage, you have like complete, control over things. Maybe one of the reason why we got into metal because we feel very powerless, right? So when you're on stage, it's completely different. When you ask people to jump, they jump. And when you're giving the energy, they take that energy and then give you back. So it's like a very, very megalomaniac moment on stage. And also, I do face paint and everything. So that also helps me to be a different person on stage. So, on stage, it's a different game altogether.
I just like how we started this without even realizing that a lot of people here might not possibly listen to metal. So for the viewers who will be listening to this in the coming few weeks from now, Munz, aka Munu Cheta, is the lead vocalist for this metal band called the Down Troddence. They're Kerala based, but now everyone's like in different parts of the country and whatnot. And Cheta, you're also into the UX designing bit, if I'm not wrong, right?
So I'm more into branding. So so my title is more like a designer. So I lead the design team there at Dunzo. When I say design, it's more like marketing team and the creative team works together as a brand team. So I lead the design side of things. So we have like a very cool, talented people in the team. It's like a 15 people team.
Yeah, you should totally talk about the Zoom call right now. So everybody, before our man talks about Zoom call, everybody please welcome the person who puts his name and then everybody gets curious. What is your real name? Munz, aka Munno Cheta.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, the Zoom call thing, which you were just telling me before this thing.
Yeah.
How happy Munno Cheta today was because I was like, let's do the call because he was missing his quota for Zoom calls for the day. Can you believe that?
That's my life now, man. Like every day there is at least like 5-6 Zoom calls because that's how we work now. Like during the lockdown, because we were at a culture where we sit together. Everything is like very raw. We jam together, like face to face. We sit together actually, 15 people. We sit together and then we jam.
Nice.
And we need like tap on the shoulder. We need some silly jokes and stuff. We need music
of
when
course.
we work. From that, and now everyone is like at their house. And we are working in isolation, so it's a bit difficult. So I have like one Zoom call always open, so any of my teammate can just come to my workstation, talk to me. So my laptop is always on with a Zoom call and I work on my desktop. So that's how I'm working.
Right.
Every day I have like 5-6 Zoom calls. So today, Saturday, Usually we work on weekends also most of the time. Something will be there. But today feels little weird because I didn't have any Zoom call and then you called and yeah, that's balanced.
That's the least I can do. ஆமா, இந்த ஷோ நம்ம எதுக்காக பண்றோம், யாருக்காக பண்றோம் எங்களுக்கே தெரியாது, உங்களுக்கு என்ன தெரியும். வெட்டியா உட்காந்து 1 மணி நேரம் பேசுவோம். Now don't come to this and tell me please reduce it to 15 minutes. 15 minutes you don't do a podcast, okay? 15 minutes you do 4 Instagram cover videos. That's what you do, okay? Next thing you'll come and tell, put on 30 seconds vibe, where you'll be like, okay, today we're talking to Munnu Cheta, offline we'll talk. You just see so much because 30 seconds your attention span is over. Increase your attention span, you idiots.
That's my life, man. I'm a designer and I'm a designer in marketing industry, right? So tell me about attention span, bro. I mean, as in, see, I've been designer for a while now. So I have seen the whole mobile technology booming up. You know, people's screen time getting increased. So that changes the way we design also. So it used to be, it used to be like, you know, like 5 seconds, then it's 3 seconds, now it's not even a second. So yeah, so we have to design everything in that way, man. Like we have to think.
No, because you were saying.
Sorry. So I was saying, like, you know, our thinking, design thinking has changed a lot during the last 10 years. Yeah, you're right. I mean, if you don't make the whole thing interesting in the first 3-4 seconds, then I don't think people are gonna stay. But the people who staying, they stay there for a reason, and that's
exactly.
I think.
And today that reason is Munnu Cheta. I've already done claps and all that. You reverse back to the clapping at the introduction again. Even he did a nice person on. You see that? Okay, happy.
Yeah.
But no. So for me, like how, like I'll tell you about how I happened to meet Munz. Okay.
Yeah.
This was actually, like, I mean, we've spoken before, and you know, I've been that kid who was like spammed onto his wall and then like gotten properly taken back for it, and then I was properly bumbled by him and whatnot. But this was a gig. I'm not going to name the place, but I'll try rhyming the place, so that will get a little creative and nice for me. So the bumming free. That's what it rhymes after. Okay. You don't know what that venue is. You have not heard it at all. Very good. What happened? There was a gig happening there. Okay, and it was like a gig that happened after a long time. So everybody were super excited because all of us, hey, you gotta go, bro, and all of us were like there, right?
Yeah.
Now, the Down Troddence step in, which is his band, also known as TDT. TDT steps inside the stage. And a little later into this thing, the AC stops functioning. Okay, AC stops functioning, and I mean, I hate to say this, but the metal audience is can get a little unruly. Nobody was even bothered for the band after a point. So that's pretty much the entire Bangalore scene for you. What have you gone there for? To see the game? What have you gone there for? To smoke an entire packet? That, you know, it's that Drake's meme is what I remember of that. I'm like, boss, if you're wasting your cigarette packet so much over there, go to a chai kada and waste, bro. Why are you like paying entry and all and chumma, coming inside the venue and causing a ruckus? So all this is happening. So when something happened, there was somebody manhandled one of the women, this thing or something, and there was one fight happening there. And on top, what happens? The AC stops functioning. So the entire venue felt like a heat furnace. And the venue's packed. Like I'm saying, there was some 300-400 people there, okay? And what happens? Somewhere during the last song, I think, he literally collapses. Munz literally collapses on stage. And for a while, nobody even cares. I'm like, for the love of God, he's collapsed. Can someone look into it? And then, you know, it was fortunately towards the last song, so they sort of picked him up and took him to the hospital and took him to the emergency ward.
Yeah.
Okay, all this crazy story happens. The same day, one of the members, who was by the name Advait is the guitarist of the band, right? It was his birthday that day. So they were deciding to keep one small party of sorts, an after party of sorts, where they were calling all of them in the hub and stuff like that, to their house and stuff like that. And I didn't, so that time people just knew my existence. Because even I was like, I'm going to do music, you just wait and see. So everybody was like, full respect to Matt, props, bro, scene, bro. So my connect to them was through this another guitarist called as Ajay George Joseph, who also plays for a whole lot of other bands. And that guy was like, bro, we'll go to that place, but you'll have to drive because our man was a little tipsy, so he didn't want to drive. So I said, and I'm the designated driver in that case. So I said, chalo baba, I'll drive, no problem. I drove down there. So the only brief now I have had is that, okay, it was a horrible show because of the venue and everything, and things just went in for a toss, and I hope he's doing well, So we go there, cake cutting and all happens, and I'm still like, who's this person, dude? Like, is he back? Like, what's happening with him and everything? So I just go in to wash my face a little bit because everybody were randomly just stuffing cakes into each other's face. They didn't have to know who you were, what you were. They're like, yeah, you were there, you ate cake, take. They were just stuffing it like that. Then comes our man. I am in the washroom. He suddenly knocks the door. He's like, hi, bro. He just gets in like that. And for 2 seconds, I kind of got a little petrified because so, like what he was telling about the face paint, right? I'll probably put an image of you with the face paint or something. So that face paint was half smudged, so it looked even more scary. I'm just like, hey, what happened? You're back up. Everything is okay. Oh, who and all that. But yeah, man. So that's like my memory of seeing him and then like talking to him and stuff like that. But
that was like a turning point in my life, honestly. So exactly how you put it, right? I mean, it was like our comeback gig. We were playing in Bengaluru after so long. We sold around 150 ticket. So we were expecting around 175 people. That day around 350 people turned up, and it was like a very small venue, and the AC stopped working. Yes, and I'm very heavy that time. I was weighing around 112 kgs that time. And I collapsed on stage a couple of times. I mean, last time, it was the last song, and I hit my face first and collapsed. The funny thing is that our manager, Sangeet, he couldn't actually lift me up because I was that heavy. So then went to hospital emergency. Then the next day we had a counseling with the doctor. Then doctor gave like a good dark session with my wife, and he told us that you will go like this for the next 6 years or so. After that, you're done. I don't think you will make it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So then he done like a full body analysis and stuff. Then he told like, I might get choked during my, sleep or something, because there was, they analyzed my sleep and stuff. Then they told me that there is like a 5-second gap between my snoring. So I snore and my breath goes for like 5 seconds, then it comes back. Then he said there's a chance that that 5 seconds could be like a minute, and I could die in my sleep. That was like a shock, right? Since then, so I always been like a very fat guy, right? Yeah. I had no confidence in like losing weight and stuff, because I've been trying since my teenage years. I've been trying to lose weight and stuff, but it's been like consistent. With consistency, I was gaining weight. Then this was the moment where I have to where I had to try it out like for real once. So my wife Susie, she gave me like full support and confidence and everything to try this out. So I unlike any other trial, I tried doing it with passion. This time I gave like full 100% commitment. Then in the first 3-4 months itself, I started seeing the results and stuff.
Yeah, man, it's so motivating. Tell me about it.
So I lost around like 50 kg in like 1.5 years. So that day was like very, very, very...
I can imagine.
Yeah. Very, very good day, honestly, I would say, because I'm very happy where I'm right now. So it's because of that.
Oh man, that must have been such an amazing, because I had a very similar this thing. I mean, of course, I didn't go to that much of an extreme. Ours was more of a very kiddish tale. I was in my second year of college.
Yeah.
Okay, and I was super bulky. Like I'm saying, I was about 100. I was 95, 100 easily.
Yeah.
Okay, and what would happen was like they kept like on treasure hunt, right? And this happened in the Christ University campus, so it's quite big. So you can keep literally anything in any corner. So you have to literally go on a hunt, right? And for some reason I was damn motivated that time. I was like, I'll find all the juice, wait and watch, and I'll run. Okay, and I run like one people left, right, and center, and I couldn't. So I didn't win because obviously in terms of running and everything, and people are much more quicker in cracking the cues and whatnot, right? Clues and stuff. And man, so that time I was like, yeah, it's okay, you tried, man, that's a good thing. And I felt damn motivated. And my bones, man, like I could feel it in, and that pain, dude, like I wouldn't even want my worst enemy or somebody I dislike to go through that kind of pain. And yeah, that's when I decided, okay, listen, I really have to get it together. And yeah, it was just that, dude, I was just like, okay, I got to do it. And it was amazing. I lost about 25 kilos in like a matter of 4-5 months. And,
it's hard. It's fucking hard.
It's very hard. But once you see the results, you're just like,
yeah, that's what happened with me also. It become more like an addiction every day, standing on the weighing scale and see whether even there's like a gram less than yesterday.
Okay.
That was like a chase, because I wanted confirmation that whether I could do this or not. Then when I knew I could do it, I'm like, okay, fuck, I'm doing it. So then my waist size for jeans and stuff, it was like 40. From 40 now I have come down to 32, 30.
Yeah, so, goals, bro, goals.
Yeah, like, I started wearing the clothes I never used to wear, like fashion. My fashion sense was like, I go to a mall and whatever left there, as in like the big size stuff, whatever left, I just purchased that, and that defined my fashion and stuff, because
right.
Also the plus size brands, right? I mean, they don't really care how you look. I mean, they just want you to cover your body with some kind of piece of clothes. That's all. Right.
Which is, you just finished. I kind of want to come down to that.
I have got this brand called All. It's
okay.
ALL. It's a little larger.
Okay.
That was the only brand was like really, really got into me. So this is right before this event have happened.
Right.
So 6 months back, I discovered this brand, and I was in love because they really, really care about fat people, chubby people. They used to make like some cool stuff for us, and I was like a very loyal customer there. I used to go every month to like a lot of purchase, honestly, because I could never do that before. Right. And another thing why I love to go to that place, because when you enter that store, man, you will see a lot of beautiful fat people who's like really, really happy. You won't see that many fat people in one place with that kind of smiling face,
Oh, that's so sweet.
So I love going there, and I was like a loyal customer and stuff, but I had to leave because I used to feel a little happy also, because I'm size 0 there. So they have size 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on.
Okay.
So some of the clothes which their smallest size is little bigger for me, and I felt little
so that used to be a good feeling at that point.
It used to be like a good feeling for me,
yeah. That's great. But you know what? Since you kind of put this, I have to also place this on record, like how much important it is, because a lot of people, which is what it is, right? Like when you actually tell that you should reach the point where you're reaching your pinnacle of your this thing, where you're like, okay, boss, you're gonna die, and then you look for it. If you feel that little bit of uncomfortability in your this thing with your walking, or even if it involves you chafing, if you're chafing, I think it's about time that something you do. Climb upstairs 5 times.
See,
climb on small
I
job.
think it has like a lot of cultural element to it, because we millennials, I don't know whether it's, I should put a title like millennials there, but still, we are conditioned in a way, we've been there and we've been here also, just like I told you about, like how my fashion sense have changed since the day I started. Where I was able to wear other clothes, right? It's exploded. Just like how some of the boys who always been studying in like boys' school, and after plus 2 they come out to college and they see like,
and they're just like, what the hell is happening?
Right? So my point was, it was more like that only. For example, we were like really locked up. We didn't have like too much liberty in our life. Now we are at a stage when where we hit like our 20s and 30s and stuff. This is the time we shifted to that era where we are trying to be politically correct. We used to make a lot of like homophobic jokes and stuff. Now we realize it's not right, so we are trying to change that. We are trying to change the way how we used to look at a lady or like a female robot, right? So all that thing is there. At the same time, you are getting all this opportunity and platform to do all the things you always. So you are, I mean, for a new kid, right? Like for like a very young teenager now, it's normal. When they born, Facebook was there, and when you make music, you put it out there. It's a very normal thing. It never used to be like normal for us, right? So we are at that stage also where we are trying to like get everything. So we have been conditioned. Like, what was your question? I think I got drifted.
No, it's okay. I just like where you're taking it. No, what I was saying is that I think there's like a very thin line between making sure that you're aware and so you're healthy.
I got
because
my point.
And I think a lot of people, and this is coming from someone who has also been on the fatter side, right? Like if and there's that thing, no, that once you're fat, you're always fat in your mind.
Yeah. So no I was talking about conditioning, right? So what I'm trying to say is that our generation try to procrastinate as much as possible, right? Yeah. So that is there everywhere, unless it's like a make it or break it, or like it's a matter between life and death. That's when you realize, okay, oh shit, I need to make a change. So I had to reach that point, when doctor told me that, you're gonna, maybe you will make it. I'm like, that's the moment where I was like, okay, fuck.
Okay.
I have to.
Yeah, I better put this together. Yeah, this is so true.
Yeah.
Because, I think you should just take me a little bit through the TDT journey. I'm sure you've told this in N number of interviews and whatnot. But so I'll tell you about my turns to TDD. So TDD. So one is so I probably like break it in 3 stages. One would be like, oh, you're there, boy, yo. There was that.
Yeah.
So like super fanboy moment. So like, hey, you know what? They're awesome people. Like they're so awesome. They just can go have a conversation with them. So epic. 2, somewhere like I'm like, props to you, buddy. Like what you're doing right there, that requires a lot of work, because I remember like being from that battle of the band to saying, hey, you know what, screw this, let's just make an album and let's see. And then the Rolling Stone Metal Awards happening, and that just changing it to the point that somebody very very funnily was actually telling me if Bhayanak Moth, if South India ever had an answer to Bhayanak Moth, that's got to be TDT. And I'm just like, holy shit, that's like and the fact that it's one of those bands you have somewhere seen. You've seen it growing up.
Yeah.
From that post, and then it's getting a point where they're like, oh, TDT is coming, and it's insane, right? Like this is, I tell this to all my Mallu musician friends. This is every Mallu band ever, okay? Before that, some band will come and play, nobody will care. Suddenly the Mallu band steps in, and all one sea of people come in, like one fans association people just come and say, no, first day for show, Madri. That's how they come. Yeah. And obviously, so I used to be the middle guy saying, watch pit and all, and then I became the sound console person. So I've actually seen the crowd gathering up and then just dispersing like it's business too. So man, we
were really, really fortunate to have like a really, really good fan base. Because when we so there's been, as you said, right, as you rightly said, we have had phases, like multiple phases of the band.
Yeah.
And during each phase, luckily we have got some fan base or the people who's like empathetic to us. And those people stayed. Usually what happens is, every band will have these kind of phases. And every time you bring like new people and you move forward. Fortunately for us, we had those people to to stay with us throughout the journey, right? So when we were making music in the beginning, it was more like people who were like really, really sympathetic towards the band. It was like, look at those boys, poor boys coming from Kannur. They don't know, they don't even know what is electric guitarist, but still they are trying to do competition. Good band, we should support them. So that was one sect of people. The other sect were like, hey, you know what? Initially it was like a fluke. Maybe they made a track and it made too big. That was a fluke. Now they have made another track which is sounding okay. Maybe I should seriously consider them as like a band, right? Then there was another stage. They kind of stopped the competition and stuff. They started playing and stuff. I heard they were writing on like an album. Maybe I'll check them out. So then the people who listened to the album, then everyone was like more on the agreement that, okay, they are a band. Let's agree that they are a band. So we started, our name started popping up in with the big names. Like, when people talk about Mother Jane and Aviel, they say, these kind of bands paved way for small bands like the Down Troddence. So,
hey, you're not small and all, okay? So this is just you being too humble.
I'm saying, like, after the album release, people started taking us like a little more seriously and stuff.
Fair.
Then there was a matter of the test of time was there. Usually what happens is every band is like, like a supernova. It explodes in the beginning, then slowly
It still sees. Oh man, tell me about it.
I'm saying it was more like a journey of a star, right? It starts, explodes, then
explodes, and then it just fades away.
Yeah. So then even we went through that phase, right? From being like a college boys to try to figuring out like what to do in life, and during that time how to keep importance for the band and spending time for the band. From there, like surviving, then thinking about writing new material and be active and do live shows and stuff. So it's really hard actually, but at the same time, as I said, like people, so in between after the album release, there was like another two split, which is like old school versus new school. People now might not really understand it, but during
that time, it was like about 7 years back, that thing was
it was like real, right? But for some reason, man, we were the only band who were doing
which is fit both sides.
Both sides, right? Kids lovers and old people who drink beer in the club and listen to that music and say, hey, that's an honest music, right? So we had both sides, and even when they fight, when it comes to TDT, they both are like, TDT is cool, let's move on, right? So we played with a lot of underground metal festival in Bangalore and in all the other parts of the country. At the same time, we played some new school, like young pop metal kind of a scene. We have played it there also. Luckily, we fitted both sides, and even we were having the same mindset, right? We didn't want it to fit into any school as such. We were making some honest music. Even we were a bit confused about where exactly we stand, and that was okay. But now, I think now people are at a mindset that it's okay. We don't really need to put everyone in like some dabbas. Yeah. It's okay. We love music and we enjoy it in general.
There is that. Yeah, fair enough.
Honestly, like I'm really happy the way we have grown up, as in like you and
totally, which is what I was kind of coming down to as well, right? Because there is that, like what you were saying about this entire school of music and everything. Yeah. And when you're kind of stepping out of that circle for like a few tad moments of your life, you just realize there is more to this.
Exactly.
And you can take influences from the most random things, and next thing you know, hey, appa, that worked, how? Yeah. So you never know, and which is something I even like about the album How Are You, We Are Fine, Thank You, right? It's one of those things which kind of chronicles your journey as a band also.
Yes, exactly.
You had those tracks which you did right from your EP days to the tracks which you did recently for that particular album, and then the video promo that was followed by it. So yeah, I guess each album is like you just testing yourself in the waters and saying, let's see if people actually really care. That sort of a thing.
And it's also about you pushing your limits to understand how much you can really take this forward. For example, when you're an artist, you always want to break the stereotypes and
Yeah.
But now when you're thinking about it, it's a little easy. People love different stuff now. That's
Yeah,
not how
so
it
true.
was. There was some formula which you need to put on everywhere, like the kind of music you listen to. Even if you like John Mayer, you can't listen to John Mayer because of some social
Because you
rules.
would be judged.
Yeah. So maybe you like red t-shirt, but you can't wear red t-shirt because you have to wear black only. And you have to construct your music in such a way. You have to portray yourself in such a way. Like if you're a metal vocalist, you need to be like metal all the time, right? So I've been there, man. Like, but even that time, even though it was not really cool, to break the stereotype there. But that time we've been trying. Like the kind of music we make, we were like, okay, it's okay to kind of bring a little bit of humor into the music and your live act and stuff. That was okay. Then while composing the music also, we were like, everything doesn't really need to be like metal. Let's try to focus on a little bit of musicality also. And also the way we portray ourselves as like musician or rock star or something, right? We wanted to break that stereotype as well. We didn't want it like guitar solos and keyboard solos everywhere. Or like, we didn't want it to wear like fully black and like be on the stage and like, doing only metal stuff. So,
I remember, so the only thing I used to be told back in school was, not in school, college rather, because, I was in a course which had people from the other part of India, okay? And there were people who would particularly not really appreciate an aggressive form of music like metal. There were people who were like, chalo party karte hain, it was that crowd, right? And I remember and even I was like, I have to do this, and I was like hunting for social validation at that point and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So at that time, somebody kind of came up to me and said, you feel depressed from the inside. Then you can make music and stuff. And now I think about it, I'm like, no, dude, no. That is that. This is this. Like, please. It's too different. And it's also that, right? I think like what you're saying, this entire culture of, let's say, does life step into it? Definitely it does. But it's not to the point that it's just being romanticized and being put forward and stuff like that, And for instance, for all like what you're saying, right? Like you'll be having like a work call and then the next thing you're probably recording vocals for an album, and they're two completely different aspects of your this thing. And it's tough, right, to make people realize it, because a lot of them, people who are involved in it somewhere down the line, they just realize it, like what you said, right? That entire phase
including
just wearing
myself,
black t-shirt.
right? Including myself, I have done that. I remember having like Orkut fights with Vishal Dadlani on Orkut communities and stuff. I used to say, you are such a...
Seriously?
Yeah, I used to tell him like, I don't think he remembers or he knows me. But that time, I'm like, you are such a sellout. You are making Bollywood music now. You were in the metal side or like you were in the rock and roll side. And all that. Now when I'm thinking back, oh my God, I was such a stupid.
I know. I'm sure all of us have had those moments.
Then you look back, you have like a lot of cringy moments, man.
It will happen. Like I'm sure once this video puts up and like 5 years down the line, we look at it, we're like, what were we even talking? And I think that's a constant thing, like I think the more we embrace the present, the more we can like just get over it and just be like, okay, man, that happened. Well, whatever that is supposed to be for. So, listen, like, to me, there is oh my God, why did I forget the name of that song, dude? I'm so sorry. Oh man, I just don't remember the name of the song. Okay, so I'll tell you another one. The Makfan Mohan, right?
Yeah.
Like, so obviously the album version sounds a little different than what you do vocally for the live version. Yeah. Sorry guys, I only pay attention to vocalists because me also trying to be singer, okay na? So there's that bit where you start laughing, right? You have that and you do the devil laughter. Holy shit, man. Like, you won't believe. So there were times I used to like watch. So there is one video of it somewhere on YouTube of one of your old gigs where you're playing in Kochi or something. Where you do this, right? And everybody goes berserk about it. And you believe there was one point where I was trying to imitate it and stuff like that. Oh God, it was so funny. Man, like you're saying, right? Like this angst that you're kind of putting it on stage, and then you're just venting it out, and you're using stage as a platform. Tell me how much of that channelizing like helps you as an artist. One thing is you're genuinely able to retain crowd, and people are kind of able to like relate to it to some extent and whatnot. But as an individual, like inside you, when you're channelizing and you're done with it, what is that feeling that you're going through, bro? Like, I know it's really difficult to put it in words, but if you can...
Yeah, it's a good question, man. Like, the thing is that sometimes I think about these kind of things, and I wish I could actually communicate this out, right? But because the problem is that since English is not my mother tongue, I'm still...
Bro, you can speak in other language also. There is no... there was somebody coming and telling me, I think you should put subtitles into the... The whole point is to make sure that the person, the guest on the other side is comfortable in speaking whatever he wants to.
What I'm trying to say is that when you put it out there, it might, whether it's Malayalam or English, right? I mean, it might sound little... I don't know, like little arrogant to other people. But what really happens is that, first of all, I don't know, I can't really speak for all the other artists out there, but at least for me, how it is that I don't really, or like my band really don't music for anyone else, right? We are making music for ourselves first. We are not making music for the fans. We are making music for ourselves. The kind of music we enjoy, or like the kind of music we want to communicate through our band title, right? So, so first of all, you're making that music. Then, for some reason, some other people are liking it. So there is another circle which is like really, really liking your music, and they are able to relate to it, and we call them the fans. So they enjoy the music. I mean, when we really enjoy our music, they also kind of enjoy. I mean, there are some people who don't really relate to that, and that's okay. That's totally fine. So you are making music for yourself, and you are enjoying it. And for some lucky reason, some other people are able to enjoy it. And when you are putting that music out as an album, people are buying it. And when you are playing the same music on stage, people are taking effort to actually put their schedule out and then come for the gig and enjoy it. And they really, really let loose, and they really, really enjoy. So it's a crazy thing when you're on stage, when you see for each riff you thought of, or the vocal line you thought of, or the lyric piece you thought of, people are relating to it, and they are enjoying it. They are singing the lyrics. When I fuck up the lyrics on stage, they are correcting me from the... So it's a beautiful feeling that, oh fuck, whatever you have created, it's not a fluke. People are enjoying it. Like,
people are enjoying it. Very true.
So that's a really, really good feeling. And also, sometimes when we intentionally put some messaging through our music or whatever we have intended, right? Yeah.
Okay. So yes, we were talking about the artist channeling the energy.
Yeah. So as I was saying, like, it's very magical because, when people are able to connect with your, thought, because it's starting from your brain, right? It doesn't really matter whether it's music, whether it's design or any creative stuff you do. It starts from your head, like inside, and you're putting it out as like a physical thing, whether it's design or music, and people are able to relate to it, which is great. That's kind of like an approval that people are able to align with your thoughts and stuff. So especially I was talking about like putting messages in your song, right? Like
right.
So I was saying, like, I don't really agree that when you write music, it has to be like revolutionary, and it needs to move people, or like it needs to change the way people think. Nothing that sort of. But when that really happens organically.
That feeling!
That's really great, because recently the latest release we had was it's called Fight, React, Be a Part. So we had to take a call whether be direct or like very metaphorical way of doing it. In the theme and stuff, we were like, okay, fuck it, let's go direct. I mean, there will be people from the fan base itself who disagree with this, and that's okay, because this is what we are feeling right now. Let's put it out. And people were able to, even the people were like really pro Modi supporters and stuff, right? I mean, they were actually, they were at least came to me and said, okay, I don't know, like complete they don't have like a 360 view of what's happening. Let me, since you guys put this much effort to release a song, at least let me go
just
back
listen to
and research about this, listen to the music and research about what you guys are talking about. I think that itself is like a win, like out of 50,000 or like 1 lakh people who heard the music, if like say 50 of them decided to at least sit in front of the computer and research the other
just figure out what it is about,
breaking the algorithm, right? That itself is like really good win for us. So that's very, very important also, I think, because it's not just passion, or it's not just your hobby. You are being part of the movement, and you're making people move, which is great.
So I probably would step into that point of view as well. Okay, and I can go on record saying this. I'm no right winger, but neither am I a left winger. Okay, because this, like, to me, I used to be somewhere around left and left of center of sorts.
Yeah.
But then over a period of time, like even when music started happening to me over a period of these 5 years, with the realization, one thing I started realizing was, and this is coming from somebody who's only been learning it for 5 years. Okay, and 5 years is a measly period of time for a genre of music as complicated as Carnatic music.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're seeing concerts every time and stuff like that. So somewhere, I was just like, it's. Do you think like we are at a point where, and I intend to ask both the factions about this, where people are not willing to agree to disagree. I see, some extent I understand.
Yeah.
Some things I get it.
Yeah.
You can totally be like for it or against it or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of, I think it defies like it gets a little contradictory when one side of the faction is like my way or highway, and the other side of the faction is like my way or highway. For me, it's like, okay, boss, you're one side of the coin. I come to this side of the coin. Also means it's the same thing below. Yeah. It's just that the ground is little different. Your color is little different. But so, like you're saying, right, about putting across the message and this thing, I personally feel this. Okay, like the pro supporters, even if you see, they are very small in number. Who are like, okay, you know what? Let me just research it and see, and then let's just embrace the fact that there are two different views existing, and just go on about doing our daily lives. Because ideally, what happens is, and let's face it, I'm sure you've seen a lot of these online fights which happen. Sometimes the thing itself so pointless. Okay, and this again comes from both the sides. I'm not saying this one alone or that one alone. Like, for instance, there's one.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this. There was this one post where a girl put up that an Uber cab had like a Hanuman's picture at the back of him or something. Yeah. And she's like, what if he's spreading into... I'm like, what is wrong with you idiot? Just because he has one Hanuman photo at the back of his thing, what he'll like become this thing. The way that actually got viral, there's another different story, okay? It was actually a logo for something this guy was making, and somehow that got leaked out, and that's how that thing became apparently viral.
Yes.
So, I found it very ridiculous that there were actually people arguing about this.
Yeah, so it's because the way we are like indulged with technology, right? And that's what I meant by breaking the algorithm. So people never been this polarized before, right? I mean, so if you, for example, if you buy a camera, definitely you will get like a memory card suggestion on your news feed everywhere, right? So that, based on your clicks, based on your likes, based on the activities you do online, you get to see only that side of the story, right? So that's what happens. So sometimes I feel like, some of the things which you can think very rationally, why even for that there is a debate. Some of the things are like very obvious, but still you see like a very, very complete polarized discussion about it. Then I wonder why exactly it happens. Is it the education Is it because of the background they are coming from? Not really, because they are bombarded with only the things they want to see or they want to
Yeah,
believe.
man.
So you don't really see the full picture. So that's where I was coming into, right? I mean, people don't really put effort to do research, or maybe they don't want to. They want to believe what they already believe in,
Already
and
believe. So
and
if
they
somebody is
want
just
like
coming and
small,
palming in,
yeah, they want basically small approval on these kind of things. So yeah, so that's one of the reasons. So for any discussion in this country, there is like two sides
yeah,
to it, and
yeah,
both sides 100% believe that they are right.
that they are the right. Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, I kind of like where this is heading, because this entire emphasis on that is this is that is this. You're not listening to me. I'm going to block you. I'm like, okay, don't block.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to feel bad about it or something like that.
Yeah.
This is where I come from, and I have this thing. And if you can't respect it, then your whole point of whichever side you are, you're kind of defeating it.
Yeah.
And it's only I guess it's only a little later in the life, like when you probably grow a little older and when you probably hit a little above 30s, and when 30s happen, you kind of realize that, okay, this is not as what it is portrayed or being portrayed as, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of get the your side of this thing as well, and I completely agree with what you're saying as well, and I'm really happy that you're actually giving in a balanced perspective, because ideally,
so I think like as you said, right, I didn't honestly believe, even now I don't really believe like the age, when you get age, it's you get wiser, age is not like wine or anything, but at the same time, at least where I am right now, what I have decided to do in life after, I mean, figuring out my basic shit, right? I mean, now I can at least, afford my own beer at least, I'm at that stage where I figure out my basic shit. Now I started maybe thinking that, maybe I need to be like a little more honest with my life and lifestyle. So that perspective got applied everywhere. The way I think, the way I see people, the way I do anything, right? Music or design. So I try to be like as honest as possible. So when I hear something which I don't really agree with, I don't really react the way I used to react. Now I started seeing both sides, then do my complete rational, objective research on it, and then I take call. So now it's not just about taking my gun and just pulling the trigger. I at least wait and see what exactly is
what is happening. Exactly. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Even I'm probably in that brigade right now. So tell me what's happening. I mean, I'm sure most of you would have seen the live video and all. But I think just for the show's sake and for others, this thing. So what's the next step for TTT? Obviously, with the lockdown, gigs are not definitely going to be happening within this year, from the looks of it. But any album rollout plans and what's going on there?
Right before the lockdown, we were actually going on a really, really good pace, as in we were meeting almost every alternative days, sitting in the studio and writing music and stuff, like finishing all the scratch tracks which we had here and there. So we were on that spree. Then suddenly this happened. The lockdown happened. Then we initially didn't know it was this serious, so we were trying to kind of sneak out and sit in the studio and write music. We done that for like after the lockdown. We have done that for the couple of days. Then we realized it's not like the right thing to do right now, so we better. Then we tried making music online, as in like with Zoom call and stuff. It's not really working out.
Oh man,
but that's okay. I think because I mean, last 5-6 years, we had full freedom, full opportunity to kind of sit for a month or 2 or 3 to kind of make music or album or like even your fucking discography. We didn't do it because we were busy with other things. Now, for some reason, when we got some time to kind of clear our head and think and everything, now I think it's a good thing, because everyone really, really understand how important it is to kind of do the things what we are doing right now, because we can't do this for long. So now we started, honestly, I know it's been only like 1 or 2 months, but like I think we started getting little bit of insecure about like our future, our music and everything, because we just realized, when you're on the flow with a lot of other things in your life, your family, your music, your day job, your other things, your social life, when you're going with that flow, you don't really understand what opportunity, or like how lucky you are. These kind of moments kind of really kind of ask you to revalidate all these
what
things
is happening with you,
which you already had. Now everyone is like, fuck, we have to write an album, dude. What if this continues for like fucking 3-4 years? What if we lose the ability to kind of write music and stuff? So whenever this shitstorm stops, we have to get back and just finish what we have started, right? So that is like a really good thing. I think that is there for every people out there. Doesn't really matter whether they are creative people or whether they are into their day job. Everyone just realize that, oh fuck, time is not infinite and it's gonna stop. So before that, you have to do what you have to do. Look at what you're doing right now, right? I mean, you could always do this before, but you didn't thought of it because you didn't want to spend that much time. You were always seeking for something greater than this, right? So now even I started. Dude, I had, since I'm into photography also, right? I mean, I had like...
Yes, I have to actually talk about that also.
I have like hundreds and hundreds of folders in my desktop, which I haven't even opened once. I just copied those photographs. I didn't even open those. I started revisiting it. I started checking all the other old demos TDT created. Like most of them were like dusting in the bank. Some of them we wrote like 7 years back. So when we listen to it, we are like, oh shit, we done this. I mean, it just sounds good now. That time you thought, oh, this is like a very cliche.
Not that great.
Now when you are listening to it, I mean, without your emotions attached to it, you are like, hey, objectively, this sounds good. Maybe we should use it. So everyone is like going back to their memories. They're going back to all the roots, and they're coming. I'm sure after the lockdown, we're gonna have like really amazing art out there. I mean, passionate art, like really honest art, and the people who are gonna come out of the shell and do the stuff which they always wanted to do.
So true.
Yeah.
So obviously we had to take a break in the middle because of this azan that was happening right opposite to my house, and I remember it's so nice to see like somewhere even I feel a little validated because Munz performs a very aggressive form of music, right? And for him to just come up to me and say, hey, bro, I saw those Carnatic music renditions of yours. You're doing a damn good job out of it. Yeah. Somewhere like what he said, right? Like the necessity is the mother of all invention, sort of a thing. Though I completely also agree with few of the artists who are like, I don't really want to put anything at this time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I am otherwise. I'm like, boss, this is the time you have to actually make sure that somehow people, even if you can make people smile in the smallest of ways, no, it's such a big thing that you're doing.
Definitely.
Like my amma keeps telling, punyata deposit lo put vachikalam. So it's that sort of a feeling that you get, and it feels so amazing that someone like Munz actually like was like, dude, that stuff was damn insane, dude. Like you were like full on jamming on it and whatnot and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess like what you said, right? Like I think post the lockdown phase, please don't chumma just step out with some 30,000 people and get on second wave. Do it carefully. Please take care of yourself. I think 2020 is going to be that year, that long summer vacation, which will get extended further, which nobody wanted.
Definitely.
But
see, I have
that, and we got to be with it. Yeah.
What I'm saying is that I don't think like once this is over, like everyone gonna come. I think we need to wait at least like in a year to do like a proper
very easily, very
or
easily,
like a gig or anything. But what I'm saying is that artists, what they really wanted was more like validation. Like taking a step back and understanding the platform they have. I think all that is like happening right now. Some people really want to go back to writing, or they want to go back to filmmaking, and they are taking their time to kind of getting the confidence. Once this is also all over, they can actually go out and do it. I think that's going to be like a really good thing. It's more like setting up a factory, as in you have two options. One, you can directly go to a vendor who owns a factory, then you can have like a deal with him and put things out.
And just
Then
put things
there
out.
is a thing about setting up the factory. It's that
Right from scratch.
that setting up is going to be like a bitch. It's going
I
to
swear.
it's going to take time and stuff. But once you have that, then it's like a machine, man. Then you can kind of churn it, right? So I think this period is more like setting up the factory. But once people come out of this, I'm sure everyone is gonna get motivated and stuff. I mean, we will start appreciating small things.
Smaller things in life.
Like
So true.
going to a mall and watching a movie with another hundreds people in like one room was great. We didn't know that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
With all the streaming that's been going on and whatnot. So listen, you have to tell me about this fine sense of you shooting a video and this photography and how did that come in? So you obviously had all these things going on and the music broke in and then your day job broke in and you got into branding and everything. But where was that one bit? Where did this photography come in? Because I mean, I've seen your videos for Agam and things like that. The aesthetic with which it goes in, no?
Yeah.
You need certain sensibility and understanding to shoot it that well.
Yeah.
So that anybody, right from a person who probably is into it and understands the finer details, to the person who's just seeing the video and say, hey, that, like, what got you into it and how could you like fine tune this thing a little better?
Got it. So I honestly, like before music design, any of that thing, I started my career as a photographer. As in,
okay.
So it very organically happened. I had like nothing to do with photography. I got like I started with my mobile phone, right? I mean, that time mobile phones were not really popular, but I got like a very cheap mobile phone. I started clicking from that. Then I got like a little better quality mobile phone from a friend as a gift. From that, I started shooting. So I used to upload pictures on Orkut and everything. I mean, maybe because, it was like a less ego world that time. All the other people, like photographers like Preetham, Denzel D'Souza, the Metal Farmer, him, Ajay Menon, Hari Menon, everyone really supported me, started giving me feedback and stuff. So I was doing that for like 3-4 years. Then in between, Preetham got me a camera, like a DSLR camera as a gift.
Oh, wow,
that's how it all started. So I started clicking photos. I mean, taking photographs. I knew it was an art, but I didn't know how to actually get it done, because initially it was just about taking photos in a stylish way and make it look stylish, because all the other people can't really bring stylish photos because they don't have the device. It's simple as that, right?
Yeah.
So
it's got nothing to do with your skill, but it's rather got to do with the technology.
It was exactly that only in the beginning. Later, I started taking it seriously. Maybe with years of experience, I started doing wedding photography and stuff. Then I understood there is two sides to it, and both sides are extremely important, and you need to embrace it rather than saying that, okay, I'm only on the art side. Side. So I was exploring all that. In between, I was learning a little bit of post-production also, because I need to do that for the photographs, like a little bit of editing and stuff. So that's how I got into design. So my first job when I came to Bangalore, I started as a photographer only. But there in that agency, except photography, I was doing everything else, right? So I slowly started learning design and everything. So that's how my design career started. And music video, honestly, somewhere down on the line, like along, so we done TDT's first music video, Shiva, back in 2010, right? So that time, I started writing the screenplay for the video, because we realized that if you are doing something out there for the first time, especially like a music video or something, it needs to come within like the story what we are trying to say, like it needs to come within. So I started writing the screenplay and stuff. Then we shot the music video. So that is the first time I was in a set. And I was doing like the first screenplay. I didn't know I was even writing the screenplay. So somehow that happened. So that kind of gave me confidence to kind of, okay, maybe, like yeah, if I have like a good videographer with me, maybe I can try directing the music video a little bit. So that's how I started exploring that area. But I realized that it's not simple as that, you know. So there is a lot of element to it. So one of the thing during that time, honestly, like that time when we released Shiva, we didn't have too many music videos in the scene. Maybe Sahil had Demon Stealers.
Demon Stealer had, and
Demonic
Scribe had one. Scribe had one. The Dam Hai To Aa Gaya.
So no, that was much later.
Oh, later.
So
Okay.
That time, I remember Demonic Restoration had like one video.
Mother Jane would have probably had
Mother Jane had like
Mother Jane had, and Avial also had one, I remember. It wasn't a video as such, but it was more like a live session, which was probably
so they had two things. One was with SS Music, they had like a proper music video.
And then one was with Rose Bowl or something.
Then with Rose Bowl, they had like it was like they put the music and they were just doing like a lip syncing kind of a thing. So that was the only. So when this came out, honestly, like people saw that we put a little bit of effort, and now when you're, looking at the video, that's like a very normal video. That time it was a very high production video.
Can I be honest to you? Like, with what you're saying, right? Like, I think the relevancy stays even now, because even when Nagavalli happened, there was no way that I was seeing Shiva and I was like, oh, look, Nagavalli has become so better. I actually never saw it that way at all. Because for me, I was like, dude, they made it at that point. They put in so much of effort to make it at that point. So I think, like you said, right, it's just the same thing with music, no? It's the same thing.
Exactly. So like what I'm trying to say is that whether it's music, whether it's design, whether it's photography, the process is exactly the same. Exactly the same, as in the way you are writing music, the way you are making a design, it's also an exact thing. For example, first you need to have a spark. First you need to know that you are creating something, or you are going with the flow. Then you are getting a riff, or you are starting with a pixel, right? From there you develop. If it's music, you add layer to it. You understand what exactly is the brief. Then you build from there. In design also it's the same thing. You want to communicate something, then you build, then you create something, then from there you polish. Sometimes somewhere you will feel like, oh, this is not what I wanted, so you kill the baby, then you create a new one.
You sort of
music and photography, everything, it's the same process. It's just that I feel like there are two things in this. One is about I'm purely talking from my side. One is definitely about communicating something, right? Whether it's through visual, it's through music. You are trying to evoke an emotion through the idea which you have already in your head, right? So in design, you are trying to design it and show to people. In music, you are composing it and you are making people listen. In photography, you are capturing that moment to communicate what is not spoken there. So all that is in the same level. That's one side of thing. And second thing is that being an artist, you always want to break this stereotype, or you always want to break the rules. And one thing, when it comes to rules, one thing is that, if you want to really break the rules, you really need to understand what exactly is
happening. Thank you for mentioning this, because a lot of people, I don't want to start. I'll probably take 15 minutes talking about this, so I had this one very funny thing that happened about I think 2 years back or something. This was again in Bangalore, and this was apparently some big guy, some big shot or somebody like that, but his talking in no way seemed so. Okay, so let's just summarize it in that way, right? So he comes to me, and so obviously a friend of mine was very kind, and he was kind of pitching me to him, if that's the right word, because he was like, oh, he's a singer, he kind of got out of it, and he became into it and stuff like that. And then he's like, oh, Carnatic music, huh? Oh my God. And he mentioned like a few Carnatic musicians' name and stuff like that. And he's like, I'm sure you would have never heard of them. And the names that he mentioned, they are staples.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're somebody who listens to Carnatic music and if you haven't heard them, that means you're not listening to Carnatic music.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Okay. So I said, but I was just being nice to him and things like that. Right? And then comes this point where that guy goes like, this ragam is there, no ragam. No, it is very restricting. This, you have to break the rules. And I mean, I heard him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of putting across a point, and I didn't want to stop him in the middle and things like that. And I was like, define breaking a rule. And then he's like, no, you just get out. You just get out. And my only thing was that, right? I was like, listen, take a painter, for instance. And this is exactly what I told him. Go back to him. Take a painter, for instance. Okay. Now, there is a foot canvas that he has. Whatever, 4x4 or 10x10 ஏதோ ஒன்று வச்சுக்கலாம் இப்போதைக்கு. அதுல he paints something which he has to give to a client or he has to auction it or whatever. Now he can't be like, okay, I feel very artistically this thing, I want to break my rule, and he can't really paint the wall and tell them, you take a photo of this, but you take this also and go because I feel like breaking the rules. It doesn't work that way. You see, that 10x10 is the boundary that you are working with, and you make sure that you're innovating as much as you can with that. I think like you're saying, right, about this entire thing of breaking the rule after knowing the aesthetics, it is very important because a lot of people இஷ்டத்துக்கு ஏதோ அடிச்சு போட்டுருவானுங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் they be like, oh, they're all artists targeting me. Oh, என்ன எப்படி பண்றாங்க? I'm like, you asked for it. புரியாம பண்ணக்கூடாது. And when I was kind of telling him this, he actually got offended, bro. Because I was just like, listen, this is how it is, and predominantly people keep doing this to Carnatic music because it's a soft target. And nobody really wants to acknowledge it also. They're like, what's the use telling to these people, leave it, okay? But I'm just like, boss, the Arohanam and the Avarohanam for a ragam is the scale that you play around with. Then you can do a lot with that. You first try figuring out that, and then you try getting out of it.
So people when we say break the rules and stuff, I mean, I don't know whether they are getting what I am trying to say, because see, rules are there for a reason. So whether it's good or bad, that you need to you need to experiment with your art and test it with that rule. Okay. So you can create something and test with this rule and understand whether you can break it or not. Or see, being unique is very easy. Being unique and good that's where difficulties comes, right? I mean, for me, just to be different, maybe in metal music, I can start putting tabla, like just to be different. But just by putting tabla, you are not going to be great, right? I mean, you need to put that in a certain way.
Exactly.
And you need to know what is that way. That's what I'm, for example, coming to photography, right? So there is something called rule of thirds. Everyone knows that. So
I see.
So everybody is like trying to break rule of thirds. I mean, my thing is that first you understand why rule of thirds.
Okay. What is this rule of thirds? If you could put it in this thing and probably
so basically rule of thirds is basically, I mean, I don't want to go to complete detailing it.
But just a very
simple term, basically, it's about where you place the subject inside a frame.
The frame. Okay.
Whether it's design, whether it's photography, whether it's painting. So when you're creating something, you try not to put anything in the center or anything. You try. So if you break your palette into grids, right? Say it's a 3x3 or something. So in that, where the boxes are crossing, if you put some of the subject there, for example, if you put the eyes of the subject there, you get a certain kind of aesthetic.
Okay.
For example, if this is my frame, maybe this is the rule of thirds. This is where I sit, so that your eyes goes like this.
Okay, so interesting.
Design, so we try to put the copy on the top, then you have sub copy, then you have imagery here, so that you get that context.
So you have a 360 view of it.
So there are multiple, there is a golden ratio, there are rule of thirds, and there are like multiple principles like this, right? I mean, these rules are there for a reason, right? So if you really want, so there are amazing artists out there, like like photographers and people like Steve McCurry and all. They break this like rule on a regular basis, but they make beautiful shit. As in, like, when you look at the photograph, it's like, dude, this is, if I am the photographer, I will not take this. I will follow some rules and stuff. But when they do it, I mean, that they are breaking the rule, but the art is so amazing. Then you try to understand the science behind it.
Right.
what they have done here to make this look
Make
better.
it,
They
yeah.
are still breaking the rule. They still is better. If it comes to Carnatic music, right? Uh, so, uh, so there are people who's like purist. They say like there are people who say violin should not be admitted in the Carnatic music stuff. I mean, there are multiple school of thoughts, right? But there are people who's like, I mean, there are people who's against fusion and stuff. But there are people who's like really, really doing that in a good way.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
by putting some alap and putting some doesn't gonna make it like a really fusion project, right? But when they're really, really doing it, what exactly happens is that they kind of understand the rule and understood the rule, and they're breaking it in a very, very nice way.
Yeah.
Like they're taking the positives and they're chucking all the negatives which they don't want to do, and they're making beautiful art. So that's the thing about breaking the rule. It's not just about just by breaking the rule, you're not going to achieve anything. You need to create something good out of it.
Yeah, so true. So true. So listen, I think too heavy we've spoken of, okay? We need to also know that we watch stuff like Netflix. Like I have 3 best friends right now, okay? It's called Amazon Prime, Hotstar and Netflix, okay? So what is it that you're watching, or any current meme trend that you're probably following that's really cool? Like, dude, what?
That's my life now. Like I have to be in it. I mean, since Dunzo is like a we are into moment marketing and stuff, so I need to know what exactly is happening. So we have a multiple WhatsApp groups and everything just to try to stay with the news and stuff.
Right.
And meme trends, format posts, like what Netflix is doing, what Amazon is doing, or what Bounce Bike is doing, what Gojek is doing. So I need to get updated with all this information. Luckily, everyone in the team also needs to get
So all of them are on tiptoe.
So we help each other. So everywhere we dump everything and like, guys, check this out. This is happening. This is happening. Maybe that information come later. Maybe down the line after 2 months, we will remember that meme that time. So we need to do something in that form. So all that thing is happening, and we need to know what's happening in politics and in religion also, even though we can't really directly talk about it. So that's the job part, and at home, this is for my job and stuff, right? Like for my getting motivated, inspired with those kind of things. And for my art, for my music and stuff, I need to get updated, like what's happening, what kind of music other people are doing, and those stuff. And also as a listener, I need to listen to all kind of music and stuff, because I don't really listen to only metal, or like I hardly listen to metal, honestly. So like for my listening pleasure's sake, I need to listen to all the music I love. Then with my wife, Susie, she's also a designer. So with her, when we are chilling at home, we need to watch stuff for something which is like relatable for both of us also, right? So lot of information is like going in my head, like every day, dude. It's
so tell me one bit of your information which you can probably share.
So during the lockdown, I there are things which I always wanted to watch, but I never got time to watch. So I started watching those kind of things. Like I finished Silicon Valley in like 3-4
dude,
days.
what a show, dude! What a show! I liked how they ended that show. I think it was such a good ending. Like it was a bittersweet, but such a well done ending, dude.
Very, very well done. And for me, I can really, really relate to it, because I work in a startup. I've been working in a startup and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Then lot of series. I started watching O.J. Simpson, People versus O.J. Simpson. Then
the first season or the second season?
First season. I just started watching it. Like I just finished like 6-7 episodes.
Tara Paulson, mate.
Yeah. Then so I've been I'm always been a Breaking Bad fan, so I'm watching Better Call Saul now. I mean, following everything. So and I'm a hardcore Westworld fan, so waiting.
Me too.
So every is that's the only happy thing on Monday, right?
Hey, there's also Homeland. If you follow Homeland, that is Homeland. Do you follow this TV show called Homeland?
No, I don't.
So it's actually going to have its series finale. But I'm sure by the time this would have gone, the series finale would have been done. Even Westworld season 1.
I kind of stopped taking suggestions from people, because the last suggestion which I got was Money Heist, and I had like very high hopes on that. because I thought it would be something like a new Breaking Bad or something, but it was not.
Nothing can be Breaking Bad, boss.
But another really good series I enjoyed was Dark. I didn't expect that much from that.
Dude, I am counting my days when the third season will be out, and it's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
And dude, like that.
Amazing.
Man, that I don't know if people who have not watched this show, I advise you, like, if you have nothing to do and you're like really looking at shows, totally watch it. Like that writing is like the
that,
most
that could be like the Bible. That could be like the Bible of the screenplays, dude. I don't know how writers.
Tell me about it, man.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Like, and the thing is that, right? So many of these. So I don't know if you do this. So I'm somebody who's a sucker for Reddit theories. So what I do is the minute I know that this show is something. This show is something worth putting your time into. I actually start reading Reddit theories about it. Yeah. Okay. And
I also do that, man. Like, after I finish a movie, I go to IMDb, check all the trivia, then Google. Sometimes I land on Reddit also. One of the things I have done, like, which I'm really, really proud, is what I have done during the lockdown. I started the Star Wars series. As in,
nice.
I thought I would never do this ever in my life, but just for the reference sake, man, like when we are in like jamming, like brainstorming for ideas and stuff, especially in my office, Star Wars reference always comes, and I know,
it's like what's happening
because it's very popular. I know what they're talking about, but I don't really get it sometimes, like fully into
just to like enjoy it completely.
Just for the sake of that, I finised the original trilogy, then the other
crazy.
Then I have the latest movies which I need to watch, the Han Solo and the other
Han Solo one.
There are like three movies which I want to watch. So I feel so proud of it, as in like, okay, finally Star Wars I'm able to understand.
You should also probably give a shot at Mandalorian. It's a good show. It's a very cute show.
I heard.
Very well done show. But man, you've placed Dark. Like I'll be honest to you, that show, man.
Yeah. Brilliant it is.
It's just ridiculous, like how a simple incident is the resultant of a myriad of complex incidents that is actually happening, and the more it just keeps unraveling, you're just like, what are these people doing? What are they eating? How are they thinking in this manner? So it's
brilliant.
Man, that's
as I said, like I'm really enjoying Better Call Saul also.
Yeah,
maybe
because that's a beautiful show.
Yeah, maybe because I'm a Breaking Bad fan, but that.
No, but I'll be honest to you. So there is somebody who actually started Better Call Saul without watching Breaking Bad, and to him, he actually could still enjoy it.
Yeah, that's the thing about that show.
So what he did, conveniently, what this fellow didn't know, he watched a few YouTube videos just catching up on Vince Gilligan's thing. Okay, like what the genius Vince Gilligan is and stuff, and then he watched it, and what he was telling to himself is like, bro, like. Some places he apparently felt that this thing was a little above better than Breaking Bad, and I was just like, oh wow, okay, yeah, I think I kind of
point also, dude. Like I think after the second season or something, I felt that it's not a spin-off anymore. This is
it's like a standalone, which is as good as Breaking Bad. Like it's just coming to that terms now.
I mean, the latest episode, the last episode called Bagman, which released, right? I mean,
I haven't come that far, but
it's intense. I mean, I love the intensity. And I love the storytelling of Gilligan, and I love it. I mean, I think these are the things which is like stuck on my head. Then I watched a lot of Malayalam movies also, like
go for it.
All the about the people who's like watching who don't know much about Malayalam movie industry. There is a big wave happening since 2008, 2009. There is like a big wave happening in Malayalam movie industry. There are some crazy movies out there, which is like international standard level movies. Movies like Kumbalangi Nights. Then
the more we talk about it, the lesser it is.
So movies like Virus, Maya Nadi was like an amazing movie. So Imayao and Jellikettu and stuff like that.
There are
like a lot of movies out there. So I try to watch all those movies also, and I watched like some very, very commercial Malayalam movies also just for the fun.
Dude, Lucifer, I absolutely love
yes.
Lucifer, dude. That fight sequence scene where Mohanlal goes to the jungle, no?
Yeah.
Where he's like, somebody is using something with the factory. Man, it is such a well shot scene.
Yeah.
Like, I can just imagine seeing it in theater. Like watching it right now, so when I watch it like on the TV or stuff like that, I got like goosebumps. And then see, and it's such a well-made movie, right? It's a hardcore commercial movie with all your Mohanlalisms into it, but it never feels overdone.
Yeah.
In no place, like you can clearly see Prithviraj sir enjoying it. Rasti edukradhunu solluvaangalla in Tamil. That's what he's actually done. And yeah, so Lucifer
So the thing about, we discussed about how our perspective changed towards seeing things, right? So this is one of that moment. If it is me in 2015 who's watching this movie, I'll be like, what shit is this? But now I understand the need of that movie. So there, as I said, like there's a new wave happening with the indie movies and stuff, like movies with like really hardcore, low budget but really hardcore movies.
But intense stories.
That is needed. At the same time, movies like Lucifer are also needed. Because, we want like mass movies where we could bring like, thousands of people to the theater. We need movies like that also. So from that sense, yes, it's like a really, really good movie, which Malayalam industry need right now.
In fact, I keep telling people, like, if you don't watch Malayalam movies, like, you don't even call yourself a movie buff, because, like, let's face it, like a movie like Virus, okay, I don't think any industry in this country can replicate that movie. Because it's very rarely that you will find, first of all, any producer accepting to, like, fund this movie. That is one thing. And the other thing is how so many stars are coming in, playing in their part and going. There's no glorification of any one person trying to appease one particular fan section.
There is no song in the movie, which is great, right? There is no song in the movie.
Exactly. And can you just imagine how many hours it runs? There is no place where you feel like, because you are traveling with them. You're like, and you see the last scene and you're just like, oh my God, like what are the odds?
Yeah, man. So it's a beautiful piece of art, and also it's a medical thriller which we are not really familiar with. We are familiar with every kind of possible love relation, or like that's all. But we haven't seen anything like this before, which is great. I mean, they have the confidence to at least experiment these kind of movies, and when they are getting approval from the audience that okay, this could work. Which is a very, very great thing. And also Tamil movie industry also, man.
So that's the thing, right? The Tamil movie industry, I feel it's still not hit that sweet spot, which Malayalam has. It's hitting, it's like Tamil is here, Malayalam is here. That's all the differences. For instance, take a movie like 96. Okay.
Yeah.
Even if distantly nothing happened to you, in related to that, so press screening was done for 96 apparently. Okay, this is somebody I got to know this from somebody, and before so like a pre-release this thing for the reviews to be written up, and there were people who were in tears apparently after the movie got done.
I read about it.
And where they're like, boss, enna pannirkinga boss, idu enna puriyave illa, and that's what happened to me when I watched the movie. Nothing in that movie whatsoever has happened to me in real life at all.
But you're still able to relate to it.
Yeah, like the relative, the amount of the amount of relativity to it, if that's any word that is, and the way he just makes you travel like it's a thriller movie. Till the last frame, he makes you guess. And I mean, aesthetically, those movies are also happening, but obviously you also have the other movies that are happening on the other end.
But I think just like the wave which we have here in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, there also, like movies like Super Deluxe and all, dude. Like what a movie. I mean, stuff like that, it's like Jum. Like, I don't know whether you have seen Kakamutai, the movie.
Phenomenal pictures. Phenomenal.
Movies like that, dude. Like we are so happy that this is happening.
I swear, tell me about it. No, you have those kind of movies. They're always there. They will be releasing. They're still happening. In fact, there's an episode which is already out. Sorry, I'll be putting this up later, so I have to say that it's already out. Okay, in which we sort of caught up a little bit on movies. We of course missed on a lot of movies. Okay, I don't know if you watched this movie called Kaidi.
Kaidi, no.
You should. Hotstar. Okay. It's literally a video game, bro. that movie, if you think of it, when you look at it in the literal sense, right?
Yeah.
It's a video game, and each video game has a level where this guy is trying to cross it. That's what it is, okay? And it is so well done, dude.
Yeah.
So well done. So everything happens over a period of overnight. And it's about the characters in it. You should totally watch the movie, because if you enjoyed Lucifer, you will like love Kaidi. Because it has that massy moments for the start.
Okay.
At the same time, it also has that story. Story is first.
Okay.
Let's focus on the story first. And there are no songs, man.
Oh.
It's only the BGM that kind of directs it. Okay. There's only one song in the beginning, which also comes as a background thing. Everything is montage. Okay. So where these policemen are like having a party. So for that, there's just this thing about they're just like gathering up and things, and there's just some music that's happening which kind of shows the credits for the screen and things. They're actually planning to make a Bollywood remake of it as well. You should totally watch Kaidi.
Definitely, I'll check it out, man.
Class.
Cool.
Yeah. So, any last parting notes before?
Nothing, man. Like, I mean, at least I'm privileged to kind of sit at home and do all this and, work from home. There are people who can't really do that. So lockdown is, for some people, it's a really good thing. And that's not bad. I mean, it's really
It's not bad, yeah.
For some people, it's really bad. But what to do? I mean, like, we are at a stage where we have to face it. Doesn't matter which angle it is. It is tough, but it's okay. We shall pass this one too. So that's all. But so as band, yes, definitely we are trying to come up with new music and stuff. When this is over, we will be definitely coming up with an album and some music videos and stuff, and a lot of shows. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Honestly, I mean, that's the only hope I have. Honestly. So apart from that, I don't have anything else to say. Good to have thank you for the chat, man. Honestly, like seeing a new face, like I'm seeing myself and my wife's face, and my sister is also with her with here.
Okay.
So we are just three people. Every time, like, we are talking to each other, after a point it's just the same people. So it's good to see. I mean, definitely I have the other 15 people from my office where I'm talking to them every day.
You're talking
but
to
apart from
basis.
that, like seeing a new face and talking something very random was like really, really helpful. Not just for the episode, for the day and for the week for me, honestly.
Hey, man, that means so much to me, Munz. Because when there are other guests that I've also been trying to get up, it's a really funny story, right? Because there was somebody I was trying to talk to about this, and my idea is also to that, like, I'm sort of taking people from different walks of life, and there's no particular agenda and all that. And I don't know what got into this person, and this person goes like, what's the target audience that you're looking at? Are you asking some of my competitive brands? I'm like, yay! Somewhere. It's about you. It's got nothing to do with your brands. And then the person says, I will think about it. And then this person's still not gotten back to me. Clearly, you don't want to do it. It's okay. I'm not verified YouTuber. I don't have tick and all. I will put one tick in front of my picture and I'll put that as a tick. What will you do? Any last random thoughts? Like I like doing this, like I'm like, our business is our business, none of your business.
Last thoughts, like one of the things which we discussed only, try to think little bit more rational. You might be thinking that you are rational, but think about it again and try to, I know it's very hard to actually, take your brain out and see yourself from outside. It's very hard, but try doing that, because it's beautiful. Because, what you really need to be is like, you need to be right. Okay, so if you really need to be right in the right way. As try to balance it out properly, try to analyze it properly, then take a decision. And if you think you are right, then you should stand on your stand. But till then, if you think you're simply supporting something because of the way you
just
condition,
to
or just for the sake of it because you're in it, don't do that. Try to
Don't
be
do
like
it.
a
Don't
little
be that
more
way.
honest, man. Like we have seen Corona, we have seen Nipah virus, we have been seeing all this shit. So think about it. You are not here for so long. So till the time you are here, try to be like
Might as
little
well make
more
the best of it.
yeah. And don't pretend so much, man. I mean, I've been that only.
Thank
As
you
in,
for saying this. Yeah.
that was my life. I always wanted to wear black. I wanted to portray myself as something else and this and that. I no, sorry, I don't listen to that kind of music. I was that kind of person. From that, now I think I'm a little more practical. If I really don't like something, I don't really like it. It's simple as that. I'm not saying I don't like it because I like it secretly, but outside I want to say that it's
Nah.
that. It's simple as that. So be honest as possible, man. It's beautiful.
Yes, on that parting note, holy shit, I don't even think I should like try putting in some random joke into it because that's just going to ruin it. So there is that.
Yeah.
And this episode has gotten so much. Shut up and watch the entire thing, okay? Don't tell ready to 45 minutes, don't reduce it to 30 minutes. Watch this. Shut up and watch. You can subscribe also. I'll put on thought also in the end. Some deep thought I'll put, which will make no relevance in life.
Yeah.
Okay. First time, though I started with the thing that we are not going to be talking about anything relevant, I don't think too much of relevance. The opposite is.
But it was organic. I
Exactly.
mean, we didn't plan or pretend. I mean, it just happened.
And this is the thing when I was also inviting other guests, like I told you, right? This person was asking me for target audience. This is another person whose video I've already put up, Nathan. She was like, bro, I'm like, bro, you come and talk, bro. We can pause and we can do things in the middle and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
But I am so glad this has happened.
Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity, man. I feel fresh
Dude,
actually.
I should tell you to. I should thank you. I remember. So I was initially I was like, should I message him or should I ask him and things? And then I messaged you, and then he's like, what is this for? And I got a little scared. I'll be honest to you. Okay. And then when you're like, Macha, this is for this, and you love reacted to that comment,
Yeah.
I'm like, Vada Macha. But so yeah, man.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved every minute of it. And yes, next episode also I'll have somebody.
Yeah.
We might talk something. We might not talk also about something. What do you do? Nothing will do. Somewhere. Okay. Tata. Namaskar.
All
Waka chaka 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 vari chaka. Waka chaka 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 vari chaka.